Okay, but really, who isn't excited to get home from a trip and unpack right away? But what if I told you that your luggage might be bringing back some pretty gross stuff with you?
Yeah.
Today, we're going to dive deep into luggage hygiene,
Ooh.
and it's going to be interesting.
It's something we don't often think about,
Yeah.
right? We're so focused on like where we're going and all the fun we're going to have that we forget about.
The dirty side.
Yeah, the dirty side of travel and all the dirt and germs and grime.
Our luggage picks up.
Exactly.
So today, we're hearing from some people who have seen it all.
Oh, yeah.
We've got an airport baggage handler
Oh, wow.
and a former package handler who were both featured on a True Travel Treasures channel video.
Cool.
And they're going to give us a glimpse into just how icky things can get.
That's going to be really interesting. It really makes you wonder just how dirty is our luggage.
Right.
And what can we do to like protect ourselves and our homes from all that?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
honestly, a little gross out science never hurt anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's start with this whole bag dirt thing.
Okay.
What are we even talking about?
Well, the airport baggage handler in the video, she uses that term bag dirt,
Okay.
and it's pretty vivid. She talks about how her fluorescent vest turns gray
Okay.
after just one shift from handling luggage.
Oh my gosh.
Just imagine all that grime getting on your furniture.
Yeah, that's a visual I did not need.
Right.
But it makes sense. I mean, think about it. Our luggage touches conveyor belts, and it's in the cargo hold of the airplane.
Taxis.
Yeah, taxis. And maybe even like a puddle or two if it's a rainy day.
And don't forget all the hands touching it.
Mm.
It's not just the dirt that's the issue, though.
Okay.
Luggage, it's like a vehicle for germs. Think about it. Countless hands touching it,
Yeah.
stored in who knows what kinds of places.
Right.
We're talking about E. coli and staph,
Oh, wow.
bacteria that can actually survive for days or even weeks on those surfaces.
Okay, well, I'm officially grossed out.
Yeah.
And it's not just luggage, is it?
Yeah.
I know the video also mentioned packages.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The former package handler who was in the video, he describes how he would be covered in grime after even just a short shift unloading trucks.
Wow.
So anything shipped has traveled through its own version of bag dirt, right? Picking up who knows what along the way.
So basically, anything that comes into our house from the outside world is potentially covered in like an army of microscopic hitchhikers.
Pretty much.
Yikes. So what can we do to protect ourselves?
You know, there are actually some simple steps that we can take to like create a barrier between those travel germs and our living spaces.
Okay.
One strategy that I think is really helpful is the idea of a dirty zone.
Dirty zone. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
What is that?
Basically, it's a designated area near your entryway
Okay.
where you unpack your luggage.
Oh.
It's like a quarantine zone for your bags,
Right.
so that you keep those potential germs from spreading to your bedroom or living room or kitchen.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we've got our dirty zone all set up, but what about cleaning the luggage itself?
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
I think the key is to focus on those high-touch surfaces,
Okay.
the handles and the wheels.
Yeah.
For the handles, the video suggests just wiping them down with disinfectant wipes.
Okay.
And then for the wheels, usually a soapy rag will do the trick, especially if there's any visible dirt or grime.
Gotcha. And what about the luggage itself? Is there a different way to clean hard shell luggage versus soft luggage?
Absolutely. For hard shell luggage, an all-purpose cleaner or even just soapy water works well.
Okay.
But for soft fabric luggage, you want to stick with a mild soap and water solution.
Okay.
And if you have any stubborn stains, you can try using baking soda or soap or even rubbing alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
But just make sure to test a small area first.
Good tip. Good tip. Anything else we can do to combat luggage grime?
Well, in the video, they also talked about luggage covers as a preventative measure.
Oh, yeah.
They can really help to create a barrier between your luggage and the outside world. So you just remove the cover after each trip and wash it, and you're good to go.
That's a good idea. I've also heard of people using like antimicrobial sprays.
Yeah, this can be helpful too, especially for like a quick cleanup when you're on the go.
Uh-huh.
And then for any luggage odors, activated charcoal bags are a good option.
Oh, yeah.
They're natural and they absorb odors and moisture to keep your bag smelling fresh.
Oh, I use those in my gym bag.
Yeah, they're lifesavers.
Okay, so we've covered luggage hygiene for our checked bags. But what about carry-on bags?
Oh, yeah.
Do they get a pass since they don't go in the cargo hold?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Carry-on bags might not go in the cargo hold,
Right.
but they still encounter plenty of germy surfaces. Think about under your airplane seat or bathroom floors or overhead compartments.
That's true, yeah.
They've been everywhere.
You're right. You're right. It's easy to forget they need some TLC, too.
Yeah.
Okay. So, to sum it up, whether it's a suitcase fresh from baggage claim or a package delivered to our door,
Yeah.
we should treat it as a potential germ carrier.
Absolutely. It's not about being afraid of germs, but about being smart and taking precautions.
Right.
So that we can protect ourselves and have a healthy home.
And speaking of maintaining a healthy environment, there's another aspect to luggage hygiene we haven't talked about. Travel etiquette.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Being considerate of others when we travel with our luggage.
Right, like think about hotel rooms and rental cars
Yeah.
and even other travelers' belongings.
Right.
A dirty bag could easily transfer grime to those surfaces. It's kind of like the golden rule of travel hygiene.
Yeah.
Treat other people's spaces how you want yours to be treated.
I like that. It's not just about personal hygiene, it's also about respect.
Exactly.
So keeping our luggage clean shows respect for the people around us.
And you know what? I think there's a psychological benefit to clean luggage, too.
Really?
Yeah. I always feel like unpacking is a chore, but when my suitcase is clean, it doesn't feel like such a drag.
Oh, yeah.
It feels more like I'm closing the chapter on that trip.
Yeah. For me, there's a sense of closure that comes with unpacking and putting everything away.
Yeah.
It's like the final step of the trip.
Yeah, totally. And it's a way to regain a sense of control after traveling, which can be so chaotic sometimes.
Yeah.
So by taking the time to clean and organize our stuff, we're kind of reestablishing order in our lives.
Right. And let's be real. It's just really nice to have a clean and organized suitcase.
Oh, for sure.
It can totally change your whole mood.
It's like hitting the reset button for your next trip.
Yeah. So luggage hygiene isn't just about physical health. It's also about mental well-being.
I like that.
It's about having a good travel experience from beginning to end.
Exactly. Speaking of good travel experiences, before we move on, we want to remind you to subscribe to the True Travel Treasures channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more amazing travel tips and tricks.
Yes, and check out the links in the description. There you can support the channel by purchasing our awesome new online audio course on travel planning.
It's amazing.
It has 16 modules. Each module has 10 questions
Oh, I really did
to
question.
help you plan your dream trip.
And don't forget to grab our free travel planning ebook while you're there.
Yes, it's our gift to you. And for even more travel tips, visit our new website at truetraveltreasures.online.
Now let's dig a little deeper into the science behind all of this, because it's not just about aesthetics.
Love you.
There are real health concerns we need to think about. So we talked about the ick factor, all that dirt and grime our luggage picks up.
Yeah.
But let's get into the science of why this is important.
Okay.
So we know that there are specific bacteria like E. coli and staph that have been found on luggage surfaces.
Right.
And these aren't just harmless little microbes. They can cause infections.
And what's even more interesting is that these germs can survive for days or even weeks on luggage.
Exactly. It's not just about wiping off visible dirt.
Right.
We're talking about microscopic bacteria that are hanging out long after the trip is over.
Yeah.
And it's not just bacteria either. Mold and fungi.
Oh.
Even traces of viruses.
Wow.
So, our suitcases are basically giant petri dishes.
I'm freaking out a little bit.
Well, maybe not petri dishes, but
Yeah.
you get the idea.
Yeah.
They can be breeding grounds for all sorts of microorganisms, especially if they're stored in a warm, dark place.
Right.
So we need to be aware of the potential risks
Okay.
and take steps to avoid them.
So we talked about the dirty zone and some cleaning techniques, but are there any other preventative measures we can take?
Using luggage covers is a great idea. It's like a
right.
physical barrier
Right.
between your luggage and the world.
Yeah.
And it prevents grime and germs from getting on the surface.
Simple but effective.
Exactly.
I also love the idea of activated charcoal bags for odor control.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a natural, eco-friendly way
Yeah.
to keep everything fresh.
And don't forget antimicrobial sprays.
oh, yeah.
Super handy for quick cleanups.
Right. Especially on the go.
But even with all these precautions,
Yeah. Why are we more concerned about these germs
that's a great question.
than just the germs we encounter every day?
It has to do with exposure and concentration.
Okay.
Think about everything your luggage goes through,
Yeah.
handled by so many people,
Yeah.
stored in who knows what conditions,
Right.
exposed to all sorts of contaminants. Where
Yeah.
the second you check your bag, it's like on a wild ride.
Right.
Conveyor belts, cargo, holds baggage handlers.
Oh, my gosh.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah. And with every stop, it's picking up more and more microbes.
Exactly.
So by the time it gets back to your house, it could be carrying bacteria, viruses, and fungi from all over.
Right. And then we bring these microbial souvenirs
Ew.
into our homes
Right.
and potentially expose ourselves and our families to them.
Yeah, our home is supposed to be our safe space.
Exactly.
But if we're not careful, our luggage can turn it into a battleground of microbes.
That's a scary thought.
It is. So to recap, we have to treat our luggage like it's a germ carrier. And we have to take steps to protect ourselves and our homes,
Yeah.
creating that dirty zone,
Yes.
cleaning it regularly, using luggage covers, and being mindful of travel etiquette.
Exactly.
Anything else we can do to make sure we're not bringing home unwanted souvenirs?
You know, we've talked a lot about the physical side of things,
Don't
but
find
there's
out-
also the psychological element.
Oh, interesting.
I wouldn't have thought about that.
What do you mean?
Well, think about the feeling you get when you unpack after a trip and you clean your luggage.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're putting away the memories of the trip,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally,
Yeah.
and preparing for your next adventure.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
For me, there's a sense of closure.
Yeah.
When I unpack and put everything away,
Right.
like that's the final step of the trip.
Yes. And it's also a way to regain some control after traveling, which can be kind of crazy sometimes. So by cleaning and organizing our stuff, we're like reestablishing order in our lives.
Right. And it just feels good to have a clean, organized suitcase.
Oh, yeah.
It can really make you feel better.
It's like hitting the reset button for your next trip.
Yeah. So luggage hygiene isn't just about being physically healthy,
I love that.
but also mentally healthy.
I agree.
And having a good trip from start to finish.
Exactly. Speaking of good trips, before we move on, we want to remind you to subscribe to the True Travel Treasures channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more awesome travel tips.
Yes. And be sure to check out the links in the description.
Yes.
You can support the channel by purchasing our incredible new online audio course on travel planning.
Amazing course.
It has 16 modules,
Wow.
each with 10 thought-provoking questions
Really good questions.
that will help you plan your dream trip.
And don't forget to grab a free copy of our travel planning ebook while you're there.
Yes, it's our gift to you. And for even more travel tips, visit our new website at truetraveltreasures.online.
Now let's wrap up this deep dive with a final thought-provoking question.
We've talked about a lot today, from the ick factor of bag dirt to the science behind luggage hygiene,
Yeah.
and even the mental benefits of having a clean suitcase.
I know, right?
But here's something to think about. Where will your luggage travel next?
Ooh,
And what will you do to make sure it comes home as clean as it left?
that's a good question to ask ourselves as we're planning our next adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we heading to a busy city or a remote mountain range?
Right, or a beautiful beach.
Exactly, and each destination comes with its own set of challenges when it comes to luggage hygiene.
Right, a trip to the Amazon rainforest might require different precautions than a weekend trip to Europe.
Exactly.
So it helps to think about these things in advance
Yeah.
so that we can be prepared.
Will you pack a luggage cover or antimicrobial wipes?
Oh, yeah.
Or set up a dirty zone when you get back?
Those are all really good ideas.
These simple steps can make a big difference in protecting ourselves and our homes.
Right, from all those unwanted souvenirs.
Exactly. And remember, luggage hygiene isn't just about our own well-being.
Right.
It's also about being respectful to others during our travels.
Yeah.
So when we're mindful of how clean our luggage is,
Yeah.
it shows consideration for our fellow travelers and hotel staff.
Right.
And anyone else who comes into contact with our bags.
So as you're planning your next big adventure,
Yeah.
remember, a little planning can go a long way in making sure your trip is healthy and fun.
That's right. Keep those suitcases sparkling and happy travels.
And don't forget to subscribe to the True Travel Treasures channel
Yes.
and hit that notification bell for more awesome travel tips and insights.
And be sure to check out the links in the description.
Yes,
You can support the channel by purchasing our new online audio course on travel planning.
it's a great course.
You can also grab a free copy of our travel planning ebook.
Yeah.
And visit our website at truetraveltreasures.online for even more travel tips.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into luggage hygiene.